Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and today we're reading When You Fall Asleep on Them by Zombie Lover 8469. So let's get into it. Hinata. Again. She gave a small yawn as she tossed the ball into the air for Hinata. After he spiked it, he cheered as you clapped. You ready to go now? He gave a nod with a grin as he came up to you. I guess so. Hang on. You gave a confused look, only to see him bend down and tie his shoe. You smiled, then bent down on your knees and laid your head on his shoulder. Okay, we can... Oh. Hinata moved slightly on for you to lay your head on his chest, turning a bright red, then smiled and hugged you close. Hey, Ryan. He gave a small groan just before he picked you up off the ground. I love you. Tsukishima. You're on Tsukishima's back, pressed together, as he sat on the couch at his house. He was cleaning his new sport glasses while you scanned through a book before shutting it and laying your head back with a small sigh. Ryan? Tsukishima called for a second time. He glanced over to see you asleep on his back, facing the cushions. He sighed and pulled back. He held you before you hit the couch and pushed you on the other side of it, and then continued to sit at the end of the couch. He sighed softly, glancing at your sleeping form, then back forward with a shake of the head. Sleeping on me already. Great gust. Kuroo. Hey baby girl. You smiled as you walked into Kuroo's house to see him laying on the couch, on his stomach, facing the TV. Hey. He smiled once you walked over to him, before sitting on top of him. Comfy. You smiled a bit, then laid on him, on your side, head on his shoulder, and legs curled up. Uh-huh. He glanced up to hear his phone go off at the coffee table in front of him. He tried to sit up, but once he glanced back at you, trying to tell you get up, he just smirked. Love you, baby girl. He laid back down and twisted his loose arm back and held your hand as you laid asleep on him, shutting his eyes as well once his phone stopped ringing. Kenma. You were at Kenma's house, playing a game on your phone, with your forehead to his back as he played on a console. You gave a sigh and turned off your phone, leaning up and resting on his back with your hands on his shoulders, and your chin on his shoulder as well. Lose again? He mumbled. No. I made it to the next level, but it got tiring. He gave an ow and continued to play his game as you watched. Do you want to try? He stopped speaking, seeing you asleep, your cheek on his shoulder. He blushed a bit, looking down, then back at his TV. He placed a hand onto yours, while the other was on the controller. I see. Oikawa. Hold still. You gave a small sigh as you sat on the couch at your house with Oikawa sitting next to you, as he placed a napkin on your cot that you recently got. Clumsy, aren't you, cutie? You smiled with a tint of blush on your cheeks as you held onto his arm as you wiped the dirt off. I wasn't being clumsy. Uh-huh. He gave a big grin when he looked at you about to speak, but smiled, seeing you asleep on him. Told you I was comfy. He pulled you close to him, and more on him as he wrapped his arms around you and kissed your cheek as he slightly moved. Then, he held you close as he whispered in your ear, "I love you." Sugawara. Hey, sweetheart. You smiled once he sat next to you in the stands, as others did the same, since there was an assembly. He smiled as well, then gave a small wave at Yachi, before pecking your head, as some of his teammates sat next to him. You held onto his arm as the assembly went on. Sugawara talked with his friends before they each looked towards you. "Luan, are you going to..." "She's sleeping? I can wake her if you want." Sugawara shook his head towards Yachi as Tanaka smirked, trying to poke you, before Suga slapped his hand. "She's fine." Sugawara held your hand that held his arm and chuckled as Tanaka wrapped his hand with duck lips. Tanaka. You held onto Tanaka's arm once he sat next to you on the bus. You smiled and greeted the rest of the team and made small talk as they came onto the bus. "Maybe," Tanaka laughed as he looked at you still holding onto his arm and leaning against him before speaking to Sugawara. "Isn't that right, Ryan?" He stopped speaking once he looked down to see you asleep with your legs curled on the seat. He smiled and picked the top of your head before speaking to Naya next. He held onto your hand and tried to talk quietly with light pink cheeks each time he felt you move slightly. Nishinoya. He sat behind Naya in class after his class was crammed into yours. Since there wasn't a substitute, his arm was behind him, on your desk, as he faced the front as the teacher spoke. He smiled, feeling your head lay in his arm. "Hey, Ryan, are you gonna..." He stopped talking after taking a peek to see you asleep, with your hair slightly over your face. He blushed when he turned back to the front, trying to move his arm slightly so he could get comfortable. "Never mind, dollface."